I call to order this meeting of the Coweta County Board of Education, Agenda 813, 6:30 p.m., June 11, 2024. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence. Thank you. You may be seated. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries 7-0. Recognitions, Dr. Horton.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. At this time, I'll call on Dean Jackson to bring you recognition. Mr. Jackson.
Thank you, Dr. Horton. Good evening, board members. Just a note, we had two recognitions down, one of those being for our GSHA 5A state champion Northgate High School golf team. This being summer, they have scheduled some tournaments that are going on for students who are eligible in this eligible to play in the Nationals. So we've had a number of those students on that team go to tournaments. We're going to reschedule that one for your recognition in August after those national plays. So what we do have tonight, however, is a Georgia Science and Engineering Fair grand winner from East Coweta High School to be recognized by Dr. Donald White tonight.
Good evening, everybody. It's always great to be back in front of the board to discuss the accomplishments of Coweta County students in science and engineering. Daniel Williams is a member of the East Coweta class of 2024, and I'm bringing Daniel to the board's attention for his success with his invention titled Project Zenith Soar. It's an autonomous drone that was designed for search and rescue after natural disasters. Daniel was aided in his journey by his teacher, his physics teacher at East Coweta, Dr. Karen Pompeo, who's currently watching from home, recovering from surgery tonight. Daniel competed and won first place at the West Georgia Regional Science and Engineering Fair in the Robotics and Intelligent Machines category. From there, he went on to win multiple prizes at the Georgia Science and Engineering Fair at the University of Georgia in April. Daniel won special awards from the American Institute of Aeronautics and Astronautics Atlanta Section Award. He won a special award from the U.S. Air Force Achievement. He also won a special award, the Georgia Intellectual Property Alliance Young Inventors Award. He also won grand awards from the competition. He won Best in Category for Robotics and Intelligent Machines. He finished in the top 10 overall out of the more than 600 projects that were presented at the competition. And he was selected to attend the Regeneron International Science and Engineering Fair in Los Angeles, where he took home 4th honors in the category of intelligent machines and robotics. There were nearly 1,700 projects from 67 different countries around the world that competed at the international competition, and Daniel is just another example of the world-class performance of Coweta students in competitions like that. So Daniel couldn't be with us tonight, but I definitely wanted to make sure that we recognized his accomplishments, as they are very unique. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. White. Moving on, is there a motion to approve the minutes of May 14, 2024? Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries 7-0. Is there a motion to approve the called minutes of May 21st, 2024?
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries 7-0. Action items, Group 1, Dr. Horton.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The first item I have for you in Group 1 is to approve the 2024-2025 GSBA Assembly Solutions Module Subscription Renewal. Assembly Solutions is an online service that allows for public posting of policies, laws, or strategic plan or meeting documents. It also allows alignment of these documents. I recommend approval of the module subscription and policy maintenance service in the amount of $19,520. Recommend approval.
You've heard the recommendation of the superintendent to approve the 2024 to 2025 GSBA Simply Solutions Modules subscription renewal. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Farmer. Any discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries 7-0.
The next item I have for you is to approve GSBA membership renewal dues. Approval is requested to renew membership dues for 24-25 with the Georgia School Boards Association in the amount $25,325. Recommend approval.
You've heard the recommendation of the superintendent to approve the GSBA membership renewal dues. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Farmer. Any discussion?
A quick comment, Mr. Chairman. Just wanted to point out to the public, people may not have realized it. All of the board, all 7 of us, along with Dr. Guy and Dr. Horton, and Miss Pat, who's not with us tonight, were in Savannah last week for the GSBA Summer Conference. And it was a great time to get some training that's required and to learn some things and meet other board members and hear what they're doing. And also, just a public thank you to Ms. Dees for her serving on that. I'll probably get it wrong, the board of directors and the area, our district representative. So thank you for that, Ms. Dees. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Glover. All those in favor? Motion carries 7-0.
The next item I have for you in Group 1 is to adopt the tentative FY25 budget. For that, I'll call on Mr. Keith Chapman. Mr. Chapman.
We've had our required budget workshops. At this point, it's time for us to tentatively adopt the budget. I recommend that the Coweta County School System Board of Education tentatively adopt the fiscal year 2025 budget of $384,302,494, which includes a general fund budget of $299,265,148. Also includes approval of the salary schedules used to compile the budget. This tentative approval includes all federal programs such as Title I IDEA.
Recommend approval.
You've heard the recommendation of the superintendent to adopt the tentative FY 2025 budget. Is there a motion for approval?
So move.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries 7-0.
The next item, go ahead.
In 2 weeks, on the 25th at 6:30, we will have a call meeting for the formal adoption of the budget then. Thank you.
The next item I have for you in Group 1 is 2024 through 2029 strategic plan adoption. I'm going to ask Dr. Jillian Andrew to come forward and talk about that. And as she comes, I'll mention that as we've discussed at previous meetings of the Board of Education, final review of the 5-year strategic plan has now occurred. This work has included a variety of stakeholder input along with dedicated school system staff. We're going to bring you the plan for approval tonight. It's important to note this plan, it's a living, breathing plan, can be changed at any time. We're going to monitor our progress every year, and we can make adjustments to it. But approval is going to be requested to adopt the 2024 through 2029 Coweta County School System Strategic Plan. And Dr. Andrew, if you'd cover some of the highlights for us.
Sure. Dr. Horton mentioned the input that we solicited from administrators, stakeholders. Last summer, during our admin workshop, we collected almost 2,000 data points from administrators as we got input on this plan, just to make sure that we really are addressing what students need. Then we put out a survey to stakeholders, met with some school councils and other community groups, collected another close to 2,000 responses through that. The feedback that we received didn't yield many changes for our next 5-year strategic plan, but it did confirm the efforts that we have put into place already are also priorities for our community. Things like building leadership skills, skills development, job-embedded professional learning, emphasis on high-quality employees for high-quality instruction, and focusing on the whole child. So I'm excited to continue these efforts as we move forward with a plan to foster student achievement.
Mr. Chair, I recommend approval of the strategic plan for 24 to 29.
You've heard the recommendation of the superintendent to adopt the 2024 through 29 strategic plan. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries 7-0.
The next item I have for you in Group 1 is to approve a contingency change request to add data and electrical for display panels in Noonan High School bid package number 3. Approval is requested for a contingency change request to add data and electrical outlets for additional digital display panels in corridors in the new classroom wings at Noonan High School. Total contingency adjustment amount is $14,298. Change order proposal and supporting documentation is attached. Mr. Chair, I recommend approval.
You've heard the recommendation of the superintendent to approve a contingency change request to add data and electrical for display panels in Noonan High School BP3. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries 7-0.
The next item I have for you in Group 1 is to approve a proposal from the Welch Elementary PTO to purchase an LED message display sign. Welch Elementary School PTO requests approval to purchase an LED message display sign. Estimated project cost is $29,464.49. Requirements of board policy FEAE have been met, and supporting documentation is attached. This project will be funded by the Welch Elementary PTO. One thing I will mention, board members, this sign will be subject to the same stipulations as the Lee sign, a few that you did a couple months back, that it will only be operational during regular business hours. It has a mechanism included to make sure it turns off when it's dark. Recommend approval.
You've heard the recommendation of the superintendent to approve a proposal from the Welch Elementary PTO to purchase an LED message display sign. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved. Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries 7-0.
The next item I have for you in Group 1 is to approve a contingency change request to provide the shield system on additional doors in the gymnasium. At Noonan High School, Approvals requested for a contingency change request to provide additional hardware to include shield coverage on doors in the stairwells and doors from the locker rooms in the new gym at Noonan High. The base bid did not cover these doors under the shield system. Coverage of these doors is necessary to provide compartmentalization for different areas of the gymnasium. Total contingency adjustment amount is $68,218. Change order proposal and supporting documentation is attached. Mr. Chair, I recommend approval.
For the recommendation of the superintendent to approve a contingency change request to provide the shield system on additional doors in the Noonan High School gymnasium. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries 7-0.
The next item I have for you in Group 1 is to approve 2024-2025 student calendar revision. I'm requesting approval to revise the 24-25 student calendar to make Tuesday, November 5th, 2024 a student holiday. If approved, this day will be a work day for teachers and staff. Board members, I bring this to you tonight. We have 3 school locations that are still polling places. I anticipate that we're going to have high turnout for the presidential election in November. And just recommend that we make this a student holiday. I think it'll make it easier on everyone.
You've heard the recommendation of the superintendent to approve the 2024 through 25 student calendar revision. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved. Second.
Is there any discussion?
Just to confirm, there's not adding any additional days to the calendar or anything else, it's just this one day.
Yes, sir. Just this one day with no switch around, no added days later. Yes, sir.
That was my comment also.
All right. Thank you, Mr. DeBose. All those in favor? Motion carries 7-0.
The last item I have for you in Group 1 is to approve a proposal to remediate moisture issues and a bird infestation in the Media Center building at Western Elementary School. Approval is requested for work by Penco Restoration to remediate moisture issues, clean up a bird infestation in the Media Center building at Western. Scope of work will include providing all materials, equipment, and labor for the following. They'll remove and reinstall the old fan louvers to allow birds to escape the attic. Remove and replace drywall, ceiling tile, ceiling grid, insulation, light fixtures as required to access the attic space to be cleaned. Move and cover contents to avoid damage. cover floors to avoid damage, clean the attic framing and walls along the perimeter of the building, and seal all exterior openings to prevent further bird infestation. Apply a roof coating to the existing roof to provide a weather-tight seal. To avoid further damage to the building, I gave a notice to proceed to the contractor per board policy DJED. The total proposal amount is $137,822.31. The proposal and supporting documentation is attached. Board members, you'll remember I notified you when I received the proposal last week in an effort to avoid further damage to the building. Went ahead and approved it, but wanted to make sure that I bring it before you tonight so that it can be formally publicly approved. Also would like to mention that we have had Southern A&E, our architects and engineers, take a look at the Media Center building at Western, which currently contains the Media Center and 4 classrooms. And we've gotten some preliminary information for them, and we're probably going to have a decision to make on that building at some point. It's not getting any younger, and there are just a lot of issues associated with that building. Approval of this will allow us not to take on any further damage at this time until we can work out a long-term solution. So just bringing that to you for formal approval tonight.
You've heard the recommendation of the superintendent to approve a proposal to remediate moisture issues and bird infestation in the Media Center building at Western Elementary School. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. DeBose. Any discussion? All those in favor? Any opposed? I'm sorry, did you oppose, Ms.?
I'd like to abstain.
Okay. So, I'm sorry. Mr. Farmer, were you in opposed, or were you in, you were for it? Okay, thank you. Ms. Dees threw me off. So, it's 5-4. I'm abstaining along with Mrs. Dees. Thank you. Action items, Group 2 bids.
The only action item I have for you in Group 2 is to approve a proposal for annual pumping of septic tanks. Approval is requested for the proposal submitted for septic tank pumping at various locations. Company that submitted the low bid proposal in March 2024 could not provide the required insurance coverage and was declared non-responsive. Requests for proposals were reissued and new proposals have been evaluated. The winning proposal for septic tank pumping was submitted by Multi-Property Services, LLC, with a total score of 91.75 points and a total bid of $107,419.20. The proposal scoring sheets are attached. Mr. Chair, I recommend approval.
You've heard the recommendation of the superintendent to approve a proposal for annual pumping of septic tanks. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
One question on it, Dr. Horton, would this be done before school starts in August, or now with the delay, or does it matter, I guess, is maybe Mr. Cheek?
Let Mr. Cheek take it. My answer would be not necessarily. They'll get to them as soon as they can, but we do try to do those at least annually or as needed. Mr. Cheek?
We did stipulate that in the request for proposal that we wanted them completed by then, and all the respondents replied that they could. If it does happen to run over, there are areas that we can pump while school's going on that won't cause any disruption, and some areas will have to be done, if they're not done in the summer, either after hours or weekends, but we'll coordinate that.
Okay, thank you.
And I'm sorry, Mr. Chick, not to put you on the spot. On average, I mean, do you have like how many schools we have their own septic? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Majority, maybe half?
No, it's less than half.
Okay. Less than half? That's good enough. That makes me feel better. Thank you. All right. All those in favor? Motion carries 7-0. Action items, Group 3 trips.
Call on Dr. Guy to bring you trips. Dr. Guy.
Thank you, Dr. Horton. The principal of Evans Middle School requests permission for the band and chorus students to travel to Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida from March 13th through the 16th, 2025, to participate in a sound design workshop as part of the Universal Studio Youth Program. There is no cost to the school system, and there will be no school days missed. The principal of Noonan High School requests permission for the sideline cheering team to travel to Auburn, Alabama, from June 14th through the June 17th, 2024, to participate in a 3-day cheerleading camp. There will be no school days missed, and there's no cost to the school system.
Recommend approval, even though they're going to Auburn.
Yeah, I may vote I may vote against. We'll do these separately. Is there a motion to approve the Evans Middle School field trip request?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries 7-0. Is there a motion to approve the Noonan High School field trip request?
Second.
Any discussion? All right, all those in favor? Motion carries 7-0. Superintendent's reports.
Call on Mr. Chapman once again to bring your board report, your sales tax. Mr. Chapman.
Financial report, for the month of May, we were over just under $42,000 for the year. We're about $1.3 million over. We paid for the last bus in May that was ordered in the prior fiscal year without the buses being delivered late and the supplements that were passed down by the state. We would be substantially under budget at this point.
Just real quick, so that, and I think I asked this a couple months ago, and I think you have the answer, but I just want to confirm, is that going to come, that's not going to come from, or that is going to come from our general?
No, we will receive funding from the state for both items.
Okay, just making sure, thank you.
Sales tax, just over $3.2 million for the month. Year-over-year increase is just under 5%.
Call on Dr. Guy once again to bring your staff and student attendance and your board goal report. Dr. Guy.
Thank you, Dr. Horton. For the 9th and final attendance reporting period of the school year, the highest staff attendance goes to Northside Elementary School. Highest student attendance in the program area was Maggie Brown. Highest student attendance for elementary school, Thomas Crossroads Elementary. Highest middle school student attendance was Blake Bass Middle School. And the high school with the highest student attendance for the 9th and final attendance reporting period, home of the mighty Cougars, Noonan High. For your board goal report for this month, school councils serve as an advisory body to our school principals and our school system. These councils may advise and make recommendation on matters related to school improvement and student achievement. Purpose of school councils is to bring communities and schools closer together in a spirit of cooperation to solve difficult education problems, improve academic achievement, provide support for educators, and to bring parents into the school-based decision-making process. To demonstrate our compliance with Georgia law OCGA 20-2-85 and the Coweta County School System Board Policy BBFA, the 2023-2024 School Council Annual Reports will remain on file at the School Board Office for your examination.
Thank you, Dr. Guy. Last item I have for you tonight is the Facilities and Construction Report. First thing you might notice here on the report, we've had a little movement on the closeout of the Northgate project. I know Mr. Cheek is glad that's well on its way, so we're waiting. We've submitted final closeout documents, and the final pay request has been approved and is currently being processed. Softball field houses at each of our 3 high schools. At East Coweta, painting and resinous flooring are complete. Stairs and handrails have been installed. Northgate is substantially complete at this time with a final inspection by the State Fire Marshal for tomorrow. And then at Noonan High, if you were by there anytime this week, you'll see that the brickwork is complete. Roofing actually got underway out there today. And the ceiling grid has been installed. Band towers are all installed. We're just waiting on the old band tower at Noonan High to be removed when we remove the modular classrooms here in a couple of weeks. Noonan High School, we'll just go to bid package 3, which is the academic buildings. Level 3 is substantially complete and substantially cleaned. LVT floor covering has been installed, and all classroom wings is now actually finished in the cafeteria. as of yesterday. Got millwork in, fire alarm and shield devices are being installed. Today, the front steps were poured, and you'll notice sidewalk work going on at the front of the building there on LaGrange Street throughout the remainder of this week. Furniture delivery is scheduled beginning next week for the building. I think they're going to start on floor 3 and then work their way down to 2, 1, and then out the west side of the building. And that will finish the project up in the auditorium lobby, so that will probably be the last area that they're working in as they work out westward. But a lot of work's going on, so a lot of people on site. I did want to mention Mr. Cheek and I were out there this afternoon meeting with the representative from Parrish, and did mention that after this week, they're going to ask that we try our best to stay out of the building so that they can finish up all their work. So just wanted to make sure that I mentioned that publicly, that I know everyone wants to see it. It's going to be beautiful, but we got to wait till July 28th now, or I'm going to get in trouble. So everything's progressing very nicely over there. Last thing I'll mention on the project, you'll see those trailers begin, or I shouldn't call them trailers, modular classrooms begin to move out. They moved the first one out off the corner of LaGrange and Cougar Way today. So that's another sign of leaving the tornado in the past and moving forward, which is what we're going to be all about from now until the end of the summer. So that concludes your facilities and construction report. Be happy to take any questions that you have.
Thank you, Dr. Horton. There are no public comments tonight, but I will say thank you to everyone who has joined us online and in person. Really appreciate it. We'll move to board comments. Are there any board comments from anyone? All right, hearing none. Is there a motion to approve to enter into executive session to discuss personnel, real estate, and potential litigation?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries 7-0. Thank you.